Fine. So in the today's class, we are gonna discuss about why mobile testing, what are various tools available, requirements to select any open source tool, and then why Appium, advantages, limitations, and content what we are gonna learn. Okay, all these are concepts that we are gonna study in the today's session. So here, why we are going for this mobile testing, right? You need to know what is the significance of conducting this mobile testing. So the best example is I just want to pay my electricity bill. Okay, so I want to pay my electricity bill. Okay, assume that this is the thing which you need to perform. Okay, so electricity bill. I need to perform, I need to pay this bill, and then I would like to check where exactly my cab is. Okay, I booked the cab and I just want to track my cab location. This is another scenario. And the third point is I would like to buy a movie ticket. Buy a movie tickets. So to perform all these operations, only one thing will comes in our mind, which is a mobile phone or a smartphone, right? A smartphone with internet connection, having different applications, right? Having different applications will fulfill all above needs, right? If at all we have a mobile phone with us, having an internet connection and in order to have various kinds of an app which will fulfill all these needs. I can book movie tickets using my mobile phone. I can track where exactly my cab location is using a mobile app, and I can pay my electricity bill or anything using a mobile app. So it means these days mobile phones are playing a major role, and even mobile apps are helping us to finish our day-to-day activities. Okay, to finish our day-to-day activities with our fingertips itself. Right, just by clicking on some app which will finish all my activities. If at all I would like to pay my electricity bill, track my cab, book a movie tickets, online shopping, everything I can finish it using a mobile app. Moreover, a number of people are using these mobile apps. Hence, we need to conduct thorough testing before releasing that app into life. So a small example for this one is Paytm. As of now, if you observe, around 5 lakhs of people are using this application. Okay, 5 lakhs of people are using this application as of now. And at the time of designing, they targeted for around 2 lakhs of people are gonna use. Once after they developed the application, the app, they know how many users they are going to access this application. In such a cases, without conducting proper testing on this, if we release the app, then would you think it fulfills all the user needs. See, generally, as n number of people are going to use that particular application, before going into live, testers should verify whether the developed application is working properly or not. Okay, testers need to verify whether the developed application is working properly or not. So in such a cases, a mobile app testing comes into picture. Okay, in such cases, mobile app testing comes into picture. As n number of users are going to use the applications whatever we have developed, so before releasing into market, for sure we need to conduct testing on that particular mobile app as well. Such kind of a testing we can call it as a mobile application testing. A small example out over here is WhatsApp. See, whenever it was designed a couple of years before, the ultimate objective of this particular application is for messaging, right? In order to send messages and receive messages, we are using that particular app. Later, they introduced audio calling functionality, and recently they implemented a video calling functionality also. Right, they implemented audio calling functionality and a video calling functionality as well. So it means to the existing application they are adding a new functionality and they are keep on adding a few more new features. Means they are upgrading their applications with new features. Whenever we are adding some new features to the existing application, in such a cases, we will conduct some regression testing. Right? We will conduct some regression testing in order to execute the previous release items. It will take more time for us to execute manually. Hence, various kinds of automation tools. So here, various kinds of mobile automation tools comes into picture to automate regression items. In order to automate these regression items, the various kinds of mobile testing tools comes into picture. This is what the objective is. Among n number of available tools in the market, so here these are all the various kinds of tools whatever we have. The various tools are Appium, Android, iOS driver, Calabash, Monkey Talk, Frank, Keep It Functional, Robotium. So these are all the various kinds of automation tools available in a market. Okay, these are all the various kinds of automation tools available in a market. Based on our need, we can select any one of these. Okay, based on our need, we can select any one of these tools to automate our applications. And as you know, our smartphone can contain any one of these operating systems like an Android, iOS, a BlackBerry and a Windows. If you observe, 95% of the mobile devices are with Android and iOS only. Okay, majority of the mobile devices, okay, majority of the people are using these two operating systems only. A small example out over here is, assume that we have two different car manufacturers. Okay, one is a Maruti and another one is a Volkswagen. So in a month there are about 1,000 cars which will sold out. Here for Oaks only one car, or else if you consider this one as a Ford, at max 5 cars will be sold out in a month. So assume that we are planning to keep or else we are planning for a service center for a specific manufacturer. In such a cases, we will go for either Maruti or a Ford. Here I have two different options. I can choose any one of these. Majority of the people will prefer Maruti. The reason is 1,000 cars are getting sold in a month. So we used to target, or else we need to target more number of people. Hence we need to go for this manufacturer itself. The same way, majority of the market share is for Android and iOS. Hence, whatever the automation tool we need to select, whatever the automation tool we need to select, it should support both operating systems. Okay, it should support both operating systems. Whatever the tool I'm going to select, it should support these two operating systems itself. That's what the most important point is. Okay, fine. And then, see, generally, we do have the three different kinds of applications. Web app, native app, and a hybrid app. So, web app means applications which we are trying to open from a mobile browser. Okay, applications which we are trying to open from a mobile browser. Apps which we install on our mobile device. The hybrid apps also we can install on our mobile device. Hybrid apps also we can install on our mobile device. So what is the basic difference between a web app and as well as a native app? What is the basic difference between these two? A small example is I opened paytm.com on my mobile Chrome browser and I opened Paytm app in my mobile. See, I opened this one on a browser and as well as this app as well, which I have installed in my mobile device. So if at all you would like to pay money using a Paytm, whenever you are using a browser means we need to enter mobile number. That's the only option which we have to pay money. Whereas whenever you are using a mobile app, we can pay using mobile number or we can scan the barcode, right? Or we can scan the barcode whenever we clicked on scan button, it will turn on camera in your mobile using which it will scan the codes. So in a simple terms, whenever you are using any kind of a native applications, it will use hardware resources or system applications or the apps which comes with a mobile phone. We can use them, whereas whenever we can go for a mobile app, we can't use those apps here. Okay, we can't use those apps here. And moreover, the native apps are designed for a specific operating system itself. Okay, the native apps are designed for either an Android or iOS. Like that, these apps will be designed. Whereas an hybrid app is a combination of a native app and a web app. Here, the apps are gonna designed just for targeting for multiple operating systems. Okay, fine. In detail about what is a web app, what is a native app, what is an hybrid app, with an examples we will see moving further. But as of now, this is the thing. So web apps, can't use any kind of a camera or some other functionalities available in our mobile, the native apps can interact with all the functionalities in the mobiles. Okay, native apps can interact with all the various functionalities we have in the mobile phones. Fine. You know, nowadays the majority of the people are going for open source tools, right? So even we have a number of open source tools to automate mobile apps also. But usually people will set below requirements before selecting any tool. The various requirements are, as it is an open source, we need to search for a community, we need to search for a greater support whenever we are using this tool, how exactly it's going to help us. We need to go for a better support with that particular tool, which is a community support, and people will search for multiple programming languages. Right. So this is another requirement. People will go for multiple programming languages, and then whatever the test case we have prepared, it should run across real devices and virtual devices also. So it means in the absence of a real device, we will execute the test script on a virtual device. So whatever the tools you are selecting, it should support both real devices and as well as virtual devices too. And the last and a most important point is app source code should not be modified. Okay, app source code should not be modified. What does it mean? So why we are considering this one? Few automation tools will work when we modified the code which was developed. Then only those tools will work. Before submitting to Play Store, we need to remove those changes. So it means whatever developer developed the codes, we are not testing the same. We are doing some modifications and we are conducting testing on that particular one. So the tool which I need to select for my project, it doesn't need any kind of a modifications to my source code. This is my another requirement. So before selecting any kind of an open source tool, these are the 4 different requirements which I usually consider. Okay, so among all the tools available in a market, Appium is a tool which supports all these requirements. And here the advantages with this tool are, the various advantages with this tool are multiple programming language support. Okay, multiple programming language support. What are all the languages supported for WebDriver? Those languages we can use for this Appium, among which we are choosing Java as our programming language to write down the Appium code. Whatever the test script we prepared in an Appium, it can work on a real devices and as well as a virtual device too. Okay, the Appium test script can be executed either on a real device and as well as a virtual device too. And the another most important thing is no code modifications. Okay, so whatever the code which was developed by the developer, they can use the same code, and it supports cross operating systems. So it means whatever the test script we prepared for Android, we can execute with the minute modifications on iOS also. Okay, so these are all the various advantages with this tool. As this is an open source tool and it supports these many advantages, majority of the people are preferring this tool to automate their applications. And moving on to limitations, it's not gonna support for Android 4.0. If your Android version is less than 4.0, we can't use Appium. Appium supports for the mobile devices which are having Android 4.0 version. In other terms, we can consider it as less than API level 17. Appium, it's not gonna work. Greater than API level 17. API level. So Android version is for our understanding purpose, whereas this API level usually developer will understand that. Each and every Android will have an unique API level. So here we need to verify this API level. So if your Android device is less than 4.0 OS, the Appium script won't work. And even we can handle all the toast messages using this Appium. Okay, we can't handle all the toast messages using this particular Appium tool. Okay, so these are all the various limitations of whatever we have with this particular tool. Guys, am I clear for everybody so far, or do you have any questions for me on this? Is this point clear for everybody, or do you have any questions for me on this? The advantages, the limitations, and other stuff. Srini, Sirisha, and everyone. Great. Done. So the next and most important thing which I would like to show you out over here is an architecture of Appium. How this Appium is gonna work? It just follows a client-server architecture. Okay, Appium follows a client-server architecture. So this is a client and here is a server. These are all various devices like Android phone, iPhone, and a virtual device. So these are all the various devices which we have. So it means the client means the Java code which we have written in an Eclipse editor. It will communicate with the Appium server based on the request which we got from the client. The server will process those requests. Okay, the server will process those requests. The communication between the server and as well as the client will happen with this session ID. So it means it's gonna use a JSON wire protocol, okay, in which whenever we got an initial request from the client, automatically the server will create a session ID, and using this session ID itself, the further communication between the client and a server will happen. So here, usually a simple question, how the communication between these two will happen means port number. This Appium server is gonna start on a unique port number. Within your program, you need to pass that particular port number so that it's gonna establish a connection between these two. Whenever you pass this port number, automatically a connection will be established. And here, within the program itself, you need to specify the platform name, the platform version it needs to execute, device name, and app information. We need to specify all these information within your program. As per this information itself, the server can recognize the device and it will perform operations on the respective device. Okay, so this is how the communication is going to happen within this Appium. Okay, this is how the communication is going to happen within this Appium. So we are going to pass the platform name, platform version, device name, and all these things using this. Okay, using this Appium desired capabilities. Okay, the configuration whatever you use it for Selenium is almost one and the same. Only thing we need to add is some Appium Java client drivers we need to add. Okay, we need to add some Appium Java client drivers to this particular one. Apart from that, The configuration, whatever we use it for Selenium, is one and the same for this Appium as well. And moving on to the course content. So we are going to start with an introduction with the mobile testing basic concepts, and then we will start with the configuration required for Windows, and we will see how to install the APK files, how can we identify objects, and then we will see the basic commands with the configuration in Eclipse, and few advanced concepts on a native application, hybrid application, web application, and as well as a system applications. So it means we are going to see how can we set an alarm, how can we send a message, how can we dial a number. All these scenarios we are going to cover. Whatever the scenarios we covered for Android, the same things we are going to cover for iOS also. Okay, what are all the things we are going to cover for Android? We are going to cover the same things with an iOS, including the framework concepts. Altogether, the total training duration would be for 25 to 30 hours. This is all about the stuff. So do you people have any questions for me, or you are good so far? Do you people have any questions for me, or you are good so far? Cool. Cool. Done.